This show is brought to you by Directory.com, the safest way to hire a contractor.
Welcome back to Morning Brew with the Homeowners. I'm your host, Dmitry Lipinski. Today, I have three incredible co-hosts in my studio. Brent Simmons from Nashville. No, not Nashville. Why did I say Nashville? Tennessee. What's the city you're in exactly?
Memphis.
Memphis, Tennessee. Clay Cox from Georgia. Jonathan Brose from Florida. I've been in construction industry for the past 15 years, and this industry never surprising me with the crazy stories that's happening in it. Today, we're talking about fraud cases, big fraud cases, major cases with the contractors, state officials, and even small town mayors stealing FEMA checks. We have four pretty disturbing stories, and the first one we're going to start with how New York couple exposed Hurricane Sandy fraud. So after Hurricane Sandy, Michael and Lisa McSherry thought they were getting help from New York City's Build It Back program. There's a lot of programs after the hurricanes in each state, but instead they said they got crappy work while taxpayers were sent a bill padded with the fake items. So here's some details. In 2012, Hurricane Sandy devastated thousands of homes across the Northeast. 2013, Congress allocates billions in federal relief funds through HUD. NYC launches Build It Back program to elevate and repair homes. 2015 to 2016, State and Island homeowners Michael and Lisa McSherry joined the program and hand over control of their home to city-assigned contractors. I would like to be on that list. Something is telling me that a city-assigned is going to be usually a little bit more corrupt than other contractors, but it's probably wasn't that easy to join either. SLSCO and Baumgardner House Raising are assigned to do the work. The work begins, and so do the red flags. Contractors were paid over $211,000 to install two metal staircases, but instead they install cheap wooden stairs. City inspector later falsely certified a job that was complete with metal stairs. Blue siding from another home was painted brown and nailed to the house instead of new fiber cement. Contractors built for 10 shrubs but only planted 5 and got paid twice. Siding was installed wrong, creating a fire hazard and voiding the warranty. The fiber cement trim or on their chimney, allegedly plastic, would later melted during the fire. 2018, the McSherrys file a false claim act lawsuit alleging the contractors knowingly defrauded the federal government and the New York agencies knew but paid anyway. So outcome, City of New York claims against NYC were dismissed in 2024. Contractors enter settlement talks in 2025. Agreement pending as of June. Impact, raise serious questions about oversight and disaster relief programs and now how taxpayers' dollars were spent. I just find I've heard a lot of stories about insurance fraud over the years, but I found every time government steps in, we have more corruptions, more fraud than in any other category in construction industry. Would you agree, guys? Clay.
100%. I mean, you hit on the city assigned contractor just begs for fraud and inside baseball. What kind of pay to play scheme is it to get on there? I mean, you'd like to think that there's an actual vetting process going on of contractors that are getting onto some highly valuable list like that. But the facts of this case and many other instances like this much more suggest that no, these people paid to play and then they cheated, and it's really disheartening, and it causes people to lose public trust and confidence in really important programs, which is probably the most frustrating thing, especially like the guys on this call are some of the good guys trying to do it right. So for us, it's pretty infuriating.
Any more thoughts? Brent, where are you on a story?
Something that sticks out to me is this city inspector. And I know we're going to talk about something here in a couple minutes, but three things come to mind. Either the inspector knew absolutely nothing about construction, wasn't qualified at all, although I find that kind of not true, because how do you confuse metal with wood? Number two, doesn't care at all, which I can see some complacency with some city workers, even where I live, man. I mean, there's kind of the stereotype. Or was there some type of kickback that has not been discovered? I mean, I could see that playing out as well.
Here's the bigger debate that I would like to continue here that started on our channel earlier in the week. So in Texas, there's no such a thing as a roofing license, right? And they were trying to pass a bill for a roofing license in Texas. They failed. They're going to come back to it again in a year. So I was talking to RCAT Association. They have their voluntarily license. And one of the arguments that RCAT is making that builders, because new build construction in Texas has the worst roof possible, right? Because there's no standard. So they were arguing that we don't need a permit because builders, when they build something, it doesn't protect homeowners. And I would argue that the whole purpose of permitting and licensing is to prevent these kind of situations, like to add a layer of accountability when there is inspector, when there is a quality control check, right? In this case, how in the world you cannot see that it's a wooden siding, not James Hardy, right? Or metal or wood. There's standards, there's different codes for everything. Especially, I know New York is not your Alabama or Texas. It's pretty regulated construction site, one of the oldest, right? Like the OSHA is big there. City council inspection endorsements, it's all big. So it's either corruption through the roof. I mean, also we are talking about big money, $211,000 for this kind of scope of work. It sounds to me 5-7x what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Jonathan, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I've been reading and I brought up some other things to kind of just dive into it. So it looks like that the city claimed immunity, right? Because they didn't knowingly defraud was their answer to it. But I'm just wondering, like the city inspector falsely certified the job is complete with metal stairs. Like, I don't know about New York, but in Florida, like this guy would actually be in jail, like as an inspector and falsifying paperwork. Like what happened to this inspector? And was he, I mean, with the point here, was he paid off? Was this another scheme that's ran that wasn't even involving this specific thing? Maybe this contract and this inspector, like it makes you question, I mean, all the premise of this actually. So is there other things that wasn't even underneath of this, this funding?
Do you think the part of the problem is that when we talk about government money, you know how they say credit card money does not feel like real cash? I feel like credit card government money does not feel like real value. Oh, it's just taxpayers. Or so what? That that's what's happening right now in California. Oh, we're gonna bail them out. Let's just send them $5 billion, and who knows who actually gonna get it? So here you have a couple billions of dollars, and in 2018 they filed False Claims Act lawsuit, and looks like for all these years, which has been 6 years now, they cannot sue the city, they cannot go after contractors. There's total no accountability. Money is gone, but I feel like because it's not your money, there's no victim. I mean, we're all victims, so it's all taxpayers, but we don't feel the pain. Do you think that's what's happening here?
I think you can look past the.
Go ahead, John.
Go ahead, Clay.
Clay's ex-lawyer, so I want to hear Clay's take on it.
Go Clay. Yeah. I will.
I mean,
like the floor.
Thank you, sir. Now, the class of victims is so large, and there's no voice for all these taxpayers who are the ones who are really losing out here. So it just gets shuffled under the rug. And look at the exorbitant amount of time that went by. I mean, with this initiative, it took over 10 years for this whole thing to play out and come to light. And the homeowners are suffering gravely in the meantime. And all of us, every taxpayer will in New York, certainly, and when the federal program's involved, arguably all of us are suffering slightly. You just don't feel it or notice it very much. But it's monopoly money that's getting out there, that's being wasted out there. And it's truly tragic.
Jonathan, what are you going to add?
My thing was like, some of the oversights could be looked past, like the blue siding or the 5 and 10 shrubs. Like those are scope of work things that could be looked over. But when it comes to things of like actually certifying a job, like that one, like is the one that got me, right? So even the fiber cement trim, like it's terrible. It looked like it was probably vinyl or something, but that's one of those things that was probably up on the roof. You couldn't get to, you couldn't touch it. So some of those things you could understand, but not that. Like,
Agree, 100%. But still horrible, annoying, but not as bad as our next story. When we come back from the break, we'll share the story of small town mayor who scammed FEMA. Don't go anywhere.